Welcome to Epifanio de los Santos Avenue, better known as Edsa. Metro Manila's most vital economic activities flow through this arterial road. While it has become part of the country's history, Edsa has been more notorious for its traffic gridlock, considered one of the worst in the world. In an ideal world, when one drives through the entire 23.8-kilometer stretch of Edsa on the maximum allowable speed of 60 kilometers per hour, it should only take him about 30 minutes. Now back to the real world. Driving on Edsa during rush hour from Monumento in Caloocan to Pasay takes at least 5 grueling hours. That's about the same amount of time to travel from Cubao in Quezon City to Baguio City, which is 245 kilometers north of Manila. But why is traffic congestion so horrible on Edsa? Transport expert and researcher Dr. Primitivo Cal explains, economic activities surrounding Edsa have exceeded the road's capacity.
We have not developed or expanded the road network in Metro Manila. It's a bad symptom, but that means that government has not been able to provide for this increasing growth of demand, travel demand in Metro Manila.
Edsa can accommodate about 280,000 vehicles daily. The volume of vehicles crossing Edsa exceeded its limit a decade ago, and the number keeps rising annually. Last year, an average of nearly 400,000 vehicles passed through Edsa every day. No wonder it's bumper to bumper there almost every hour. During rush hour on a Monday, Marjun Romano travels from Edsa Taft to Fairview. He's a stove technician for several fast food chains across Metro Manila, so he's constantly on the road. Romano has been waiting for a bus for more than an hour. He's been wrestling with hundreds of other commuters to get into jam-packed buses.
Minsan natutula ka ng mga kasamahan mo sa bus. Kaya minsan nagkaka-irita na minsan nag-aaway na yung mga pasahero
It's a familiar story to most commuters. Buses and trains are overflowing with passengers. Taxis and ride-hailing services are few and expensive. To many, traveling on Edsa is a living nightmare. It's the same problem that finally made Rachel Ann Digia decide to buy a car after 6 years of commuting from Bulacan to her workplace in Makati.
Whenever I ride MRT, lalo na pag maulan, parang gusto mo nang isumpa lahat ng yung mga nakikita mo na parang sabi ko, time will come, I will buy a car. It will solve my problem in commuting. Pero after I bought my car, I thought tapos na lahat, parang oh my God, okay na. Pero mali pala kasi ganun din, ang pinagkaiba lang is naka-aircon ka, nakaupo ka, pero para ka lang din nasa parking lot.
Digia left her Makati job to escape Edsa traffic. An analysis of the latest government data on daily traffic show 2 out of 3 vehicles traveling Edsa daily are private cars, and many of them carry only the driver. Buses and taxis account for only 9% of the vehicles on Edsa each day.
Since you are going to be stuck anyway in traffic, might as well get stuck in your own private vehicles because there is no viable alternative.
Edsa is a huge mess. That's why fed-up commuters like Digia would rather prioritize comfort, while those like Romano, who can't afford a car, have to swallow their dignity as they fight for survival every day on this highway called Edsa. Filipino drivers are skillful, no doubt, but many lack discipline. And on Edsa, the most infuriating habits of the worst Filipino drivers are on full display.
Filipinos are known for hospitality. And yet, kung nasa road, baliktad. Ayaw talagang mag-give way. Kaya para bang it's masama sa loob kung parang nasigitan o naunahan.
Just beside Boni MRT station, this bus is loading passengers illegally. Because it blocks a lane on Edsa, traffic flow behind the bus is stuck, extending a kilometer until Guadalupe Bridge. You think only buses are unruly? Well, watch this. It looks like a typical rush hour mess on Edsa. But it's not rush, it's just that all those private cars are on the yellow lanes that are supposed to be exclusive to public buses. Since 2017, the Metro Manila Development Authority, tasked to solve the perennial traffic problem on Edsa, has intensified its no-contact apprehension or the system of spotting violators through the agency's CCTVs. 2 years ago, the agency recorded at least 100 violators on Edsa a day. Now, it's nearly 2,000. All the traffic violators will receive tickets from MMDA through the mail. George has been driving public utility vehicles for almost 3 decades. He used to drive buses, and now he operates 3 jeepneys. But he has a secret to confess about his driver's license.
Nung time naman na kumuha ko na exam, paglapit ko, tayo man ako kumuha nun eh. Sabi ko, sir, baka po pwedeng tulungan nyo ako. Examiner siya sa loob ng room. Sige, kanya. Hindi ako maghahawak sa'yo, pero ititimbre kita doon. Ayun ang nangyari doon. Nakakuha ko lisensya.
Pero hindi ka na nag-road test?
Hindi na.
George admits he only learned his traffic signs later when he was already making a living as a driver. The Land Transportation Office clamped down not just on fixers, but on drivers with illegal license cards as well. The agency has revoked the license of at least 3,000 drivers since 2018 and relieved some employees involved in the scam. But Toto, a self-confessed fixer in the LTO, says the illegal trade is alive and well. George and Toto have requested CNN Philippines not to reveal their real names for security reasons.
Lahat na yun. Kasama yung medical, yung babayaran sa loob, pati yung examination. Pipictural lang siya. Tapos nun, alis na siya.
For every transaction, Toto earns 4,000 pesos. Transport officials say drivers who are not properly trained and obtain a license illegally are the ones who violate traffic rules the most.
When we say kawalan ng disiplina, it's really not following the traffic rules and regulation. Ang sinasabi natin dito, nandun yung mga traffic signs, inaano tayo, ginaguide tayo, hindi pa rin sumusunod.
But Dr. Cal says, while undisciplined drivers are another cause of trouble, they are just minute contributors to Edsa's traffic woes. Bing Abalo is all smiles at the sight of a bus to Fairview. She says it's her lucky day because she was able to board a bus within the first 10 minutes of waiting. She usually waits for at least an hour.
Minsan, puno na po, standing, nakatayo po kami. Ganon po. So ngayon, parang okay lang kasi nakaupo. Parang hindi na masakit sa pag maghapon nagtrabaho tapos nakaupo pag-uwi.
Boarding a bus at Taft Avenue at 5 p.m. means Abalo could probably be home before 9 p.m. and finally spend longer time with her daughter. A study by Boston Consulting in the US reveals the average traffic speed on Edsa may be down to less than 10 kilometers per hour by the time President Rodrigo Duterte ends his term in 2022, if no solution is found. That means Abalo's 3-hour travel time from Taft Avenue to Fairview may extend by another hour or 2 in 3 years. Transportation Secretary Art Tugade explained to CNN Philippines the government's approach to solving the traffic problem.
Ito ho'y nangangailangan ng tinatawag na aking sinasabi noon at uulitin ko, basket of solutions, na kung saan ay napapaloob yung solusyong infrastruktura, yung solusyon pamaraan at panuntunan, yung solusyon na kung saan ipapaloob yung disiplina ng mga mananakay at mga pedestrian.
The Duterte administration's ambitious Build, Build, Build program is the long-term solution. Construction of several projects to expand Metro Manila's rail system and the country's first subway system have begun. Authorities say the subway's first 3 stations will be operational by 2022. The rehabilitation of MRT-3 is underway. Among the government's midterm solutions to decongesting Edsa is to ban all provincial buses beginning next month. Soon, the operations of provincial bus terminals along Edsa like this will be prohibited. The government will also impose stricter rules on granting driver's licenses with a 10-year validity beginning next year. Applicants must learn driving only from accredited schools or licensed driver with proper credentials. The Metro Manila Development Authority plans to reimpose the driver-only car ban and encourage carpooling. The agency may also order to make the inner lanes on Edsa slimmer, from 3.5 meters to 3 meters, to give room for another lane which will be exclusive to motorcycles. However, the implementation of these initiatives has faced enormous challenges. After an initial implementation last year, the driver-only car ban on Edsa was suspended due to a Senate resolution. A study by the Japan International Cooperation Agency shows the country loses 3.5 billion pesos every day because of the gridlock. That means the Philippines could have been 1.2 trillion pesos richer annually if only Metro Manila had a more efficient transport system. You see, traffic congestion is both stressful and costly. Makoy Pupioko, CNN Philippines.